Recording in progress.
Well, thank you so much for attending our Zoom. We're here to examine the platform known as the Aurum Foundation. And the idea of this presentation is to give you an overview. That's really what it is. It's not all the details. It's certainly some of the details, but it's to give you an overview. And the opinions expressed in my presentation are my opinions. They're not anybody else's. So you would be I suppose, advised to do your own due diligence. I've done some here, and I'm happy to share that with you. It's always prudent, to seek professional advice when you're getting started in any business. Doesn't matter what that business is. If you're getting involved in the music industry or the coffee shop business or I don't know, real estate, anything, go and speak to an expert in that area. Find out about it. Find out about the licensing and what's permitted in your country. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't give you any advice in that respect. And I probably guess the person that invited you here is not a financial advisor either. So that's why we believe it's very, very prudent to do your own research, your own due diligence. As my dad said, may he rest in peace. But what he said used to say, you're old enough and big enough and ugly enough to make your own decisions. That's what Dad used to say to me. You're old enough, you're big enough, and you're ugly enough to make your own decisions. So, but I'm just here to give you an overview, to give you from a training or educational perspective what I've found. And the first thing I found is the people behind it is very, very important for all of us. And none other than Bryan Benson is one of the major stakeholders in it today, because Bryan's building out this new Aurum exchange that you're going to hear about. But Bryan's also the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer. He's from the United States, did his schooling in Santa Barbara University, and he went straight from university straight into the bank. And he worked for a bank in California called Dean Witter. I don't know, does that still exist? But I do know that Dean Witter was bought by Morgan Stanley. And Bryan was a trader. He did the Forex, the foreign exchange currency trading, very, very successful guy. And when he left the banking industry, he moved into the other side, the Web3 world of cryptocurrency. And he has done so well over there as well. He's just one of these guys that is very tech savvy. He has, coming from an employment role and a trading role, into management role where he became the director in Binance. Now, Binance is a serious big company. I don't know, is it operating in your country, or some countries don't like Binance anymore? I don't know why that is, or maybe they don't want to comply. But I know that Bryan opened all the Binance companies in South America. So his job was to go and open Mexico, Brazil, which was a big market, Colombia, Peru, Argentina, all of those countries down there, Brazil, and what's that other good football one? Argentina, Brazil, Chile. Yeah. So, and I think Bryan said to me that these companies were in his name initially when he was set down. He had to go and do the due diligence, open the markets, do the relationshiping with the banking structures down there to establish Binance, and he opened the companies in his name. And then later, when Binance were ready to come in and take over, the company names changed into Binance. So he had a very big role there, guys. This is the Bryan Benson. And if you want to Google him, that's what I did. I never heard of him before. So I said, Bryan Benson. So be careful just to type his name correctly. Bryan, Benson, Binance. And here's the great news. He's everywhere. That's good. If you can't find a guy, is he an actor? Is he a stranger? Who is this person? This is the Bryan Benson from Binance. He's 51, 52 years of age at the moment. So I would call that a mature, sensible age. He's not some kid trying to build some tech. This guy has experience, big experience. And better than that, his connections are important. When you're putting together liquidity pools, when you're putting together deals with Visa card and MasterCard, you need some clout, you need some experience, you need some power, and you need some money. And this guy has all of it. You can see images here when he was younger, older, you can see him with a Binance shirt on there. Then he's got a Binance t-shirt. You can see him right throughout here. And I think that's great news. And we also learned that Forbes, the media company who create those Forbes rich lists, They have a lot of data to pull to get these rich lists correct. You know, they work out who's the richest, top 100 richest people in the United States, who's the top richest people in Europe, who's the top 20 richest people in Asia. And to do those rich lists, they have to pull a lot of data. They've got to do a lot of due diligence, because you think about it. Imagine they said Bill Gates was the 11th richest man in America when maybe he's the fourth. He would be very disappointed with that. And these media companies have to be very careful about what they say in case they get sued. And I find it interesting to see that they'd written about Aurum in a positive light. And they were saying that Aurum is providing institutional grade trading. And that's important. That's a bit like institutional grade trading, as far as I know. It's a different type of trading. It's not like the Wild West. It's more governed. It's more specialized. It's more particular. It's more, the risk management is tighter because it's dealing with institutions and high net worth individuals, and that's what all the big companies are doing. You've heard of BlackRock and all of these big finance houses. They're all providing and using, and the banks are using institutional grade trading. And whilst it's not just as profitable as the Wild West, I think it's a more comfortable level to be adopting. And then the next piece that I liked was the fact that the issuing bank, who puts Visa out there, and MasterCard, have done their due diligence, obviously, on this company as well. So they would have to know who are the directors, who is the CEO, who are the shareholders. They would have to have, like, the memorandum of articles that formed the company. They would have to know, is the licensing right? Do we trust these people? So for the benefit of us consumers, I think it's a very strong piece that we can say that the issuing bank who represent them are happy to put Aurum's name on the Visa card. To co-brand is a difficult thing, guys. So this gave me a lot of confidence as well. But of course, you're your own boss. You need to do your own due diligence before you make any decisions. And then, just to nail it all, in early October 2025, Bryan Benson was one of the main speakers at the biggest blockchain summit in the world. Now, there were 25,000 people attended this event. Bryan was speaking alongside his buddy, Richard. Now, Richard Teng and Bryan worked together when they were in Binance. And the boss in those days was a guy called CZ. And CZ moved on, and Richard got the job with Binance, the CEO. And Bryan wasn't pleased. So Bryan's now the CEO of Aurum, and they were speaking at this event. They had a stand or a booth at this event. They sponsored this event, and 25,000 visitors. In fact, on the last day of this event, I was told reliably that they were paying $1,400 to get into this event. Now, if the Rolling Stones were playing, I don't think I'd pay $1,400 to get in. So it shows you what kind of rock star this guy is. And we're pleased that we've got a company that's not afraid to be exposed, a company that's in crypto, in blockchain, in Web3 at this event. And speaking at this event tells me, wow, everybody's looking at these guys, and they were looking for liquidity providers for their new exchange. And this was a very, very successful event for them. Now, coming up, because we have to do some futuring here, you saw in the video, they have a roadmap for the next 10 years. And I think that's a very important ingredient as well. They're not making it up as they go along. They've already the roadmap established. And by the way, guys, if you're listening to this tonight or today, this company is in pre-launch. So the timing is perfect. For those of you that understand timing in business, it's a bit like hearing about Bitcoin in 2010. You know, the timing was perfect then, but it wasn't the easiest time. It's when everybody thought Bitcoin wasn't real. It's some silly money in the sky. But time matures, and time changes results. The timing here is great because this exchange is about to launch. We saw the first few transactions conducted. There was a group of 500 leaders around the world. Were able to see the first few transactions. It's in test mode. It's ready to go. But part of the bigger ecosystem is not just having the exchange, not just having the Aurum token. It's the connections around it. So they are designing this POS terminal. That means point of sale terminal. You know, you see them in all the shops and the merchants, where you'll be able to use cryptocurrency to pay for goods in addition to the standard fiat currencies. So in addition to that, they are developing the Aurum ATM machines. Now, what's different about this machine is this is called a two-way ATM. What does that mean, two-way? It means if you had cash, you can put it into the machine instead of taking it out. You could feed money into the machine and prepare your wallet and scan your wallet on the machine. It'll send the cryptocurrency from cash into crypto. But it will also do the opposite. Let's say you have a little bit of cryptocurrency, you need a little bit of cash to go to the coffee shop. You can go over and produce a code. Say you need $40 or $100. You just make a QR code, $100. Then the ATM scans your application and it pays out the $40. So it's a two-way ATM. That's what they're developing. They've also got this great product, which I think is going to be fabulous. This product is going to compete with the banks. It's going to slaughter the banks, not compete. What would a bank give you? 1%, 2%, 3% if you were lucky. These guys are offering, when the exchange is ready, this particular, what they call a liquidity staking product. And that means you can put, say you had a little bit of Bitcoin and you didn't want to trade it, or you didn't want to spend it, you wanted to keep it, but it's making you nothing sitting around. You could stake it here for like 18% a year. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it is quite a lot. It's better than property. You have a property hanging about, you're not going to get 18% in a year. If you have gold hanging about, you're not going to get 18% in a year. You know, real estate would probably do, good real estate in the right location could typically make you about 10%, somewhere between 6 and 10% a year would be the yield on real estate. When we look at gold, you're probably looking at something in the same realms, about probably 10% a year in gold. To get 18% a year in a product that you can remove without lock-in, you don't have to lock it in for a year or 3 months or 6 months. You can put it in for a day and remove the next day. If you had a little bit of USDT, you can put it in there, or USDC at 19%, up to 20% on these few tokens. And this will act as liquidity for the exchange. This is a great product for traditional business people that understand money. And these results of 17 to 20% a year is pretty spectacular without trading. Of course, when you trade it, you've got the leverage, you've got the upward, some of the trading facilities can do this in a month's time, but then you're risking it in trading. But here, I think this is going to be a fabulous product going forward. I'm just doing a little bit of futuring so you understand that it's not just what we have today, because what we have today is fabulous, but what's coming is going to be very good to support the system. Now, let's listen to Bryan Benson, because everybody's looking for a visionary leader. Like an Elon Musk, he's a visionary leader, crazy thoughts that challenge the world, that, we're going to go to Mars. Like, that sounds crazy, but he's a very successful visionary leader. As was the creator of Apple. And these special people are great people to follow. And what Bryan wants to do, because he's done it before with Binance, he saw so many people becoming millionaires. And him as a customer, not a customer, as an employee, here he's got a different role. Yes, he's a CEO, but he's got a stake in this. And he wants to create 1,000 millionaires. Isn't that fantastic? He wants to create 1,000 millionaires. And let's listen to what he says here.
I think if I have to sum it up in one word, it's ecosystem. At Aurum, we're building an ecosystem, and we're really trying to focus on getting this thing to a unicorn status. And what I like to say is we want to create 1,000 millionaires. And so if we can do that, then that will be a $1 billion business. That will be a unicorn, and we'll be very excited if we can accomplish that. And we're well on our way to that.
So that's very, very interesting. You see, Bryan told me himself, when he worked at Binance, do you know how they paid him? They paid him with BNB tokens. So he worked for Binance, and they says, here's a load of BNBs. Who wants BNB? BNB started at 8 cents for a BNB token. Like, this is about 8 or 9 years ago. Today, it's over $1,100. It's a bit like the Bitcoin story, went from 10 cents to $120,000. BNB went from 8 cents to $1,100 today. But these guys were paid with that token, and they didn't want it because they had to pay bills like everybody else. They had to raise the kids. They had to pay the mortgage. They had to put fuel in the car. So they were selling their BNB. But he saw so many people becoming millionaires that he wants to do it again. And if he's lucky enough to emulate the BNB or the Binance success story with Aurum, some of the people listening to this call could be in a very good position in the future if you get your hands on this token. Now, of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not insinuating go get the Aurum token. It's not even ready yet. The white paper has not been launched yet. But I just want you to know about the future of the platform, about the whole ecosystem. That's what he said. It's an ecosystem. And the parts that are available now are fantastic. If you'd like to get involved, there are no freebies. Now, that wipes out quite a few people because everybody wants a freebie. You know, oh, sign me up for free. Well, not a chance. Not a chance. It's $19.90 for the whole year. I call that 4 cups of coffee, and that allows you to use all of the products except the Visa card, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And you can go in and out and use these products. It's a bit like paying for the gym. People will spend thousands on a gym membership, and they can go in and use the running machine, the rowing machine, the steam room, the sauna. You know, here for $20, you've got an international fintech business without staff, without wages, without product development, without deliveries, without insurance. Imagine having a business, an international technology business for $20. It's nothing. It's nothing. And you got to respect it higher than you got to say it's $200,000. That's what you've got to play in your mind. I paid $200,000 for this business, and then go work that. Don't work a $20 business, because it doesn't take too long to make your money back. So you got to trick your mind into thinking, well, it's only $20, but it's not. It's a $200,000 business or more. And if you do that mentality, then I think you get better results. Now, let's show you some of the products. They have 7 or 8 products operating, guys, but I can't explain them all because I haven't even tried them. I've tried about 4 of them, and those are the only ones I'd be happy to talk about until I try the others. Once I try the other products, then I'll be fit to tell you about them. But I've tried this product. I think it's sensational. It's the EXI bot. Why I like this one is, well, I suppose it's the most successful one. It's the longest running. It's got data going back to February 2023. It's over 2.5 years old. And it's got machine learning, and that's important as well. Machine learning is where the AI is not just fixed and that's it. The AI learns from its previous trades. It learns from the volume of trading that it does. And this AI, we all know it's affecting countries, it's affecting jobs, careers, and business. And it can be a good thing or a bad thing, AI, you know, but ask Elon Musk what he thinks about it. It can do 10,000, it can make 10,000 processes and make a decision in a second. And even we can't do that. We're not as fast as it. So with that said, and with the risk management all built in, this product at the middle of October 2025 had $44 million trading in it. I believe at this time it's over 50 million already, and that's growing and growing and growing. And the profits have been sensational. I've been told that it's the worst month it's ever had was 9%, 9.3% for a month. And the best month was not more than 23%. So it was in a range of 9% to 23% a month, which is very, very good. On average, the platform's realizing about 17.5%. Now, you don't get 17.5%. I don't get 17.5%. That's what the product's producing. What you get, or what I might get, is determined by the deposit we make to our own accounts. So the way I'm looking at this is it's called the Aurum Neo Bank. Okay, it's a new, Neo means new. It's the new banking style for digital money. And you open an account here with the Neo Bank, and it depends what you deposit. There's no packages like $100 package or $500. There's nothing like that. You make a deposit, you know, let's say you made a deposit hypothetically of $160. Okay, so if you did that deposit, you're going to fall into the first category here, and those customers in that range are going to benefit for about 10% a month. Now, these are not fixed because trading moves, but on average, it's doing about, you can see they're 10.49, but let's call it 10%. For those customers listening that could do more than that, let's say you were able to do, I'll make up a number, $444. Where's that going to go? Well, that's going to fall into the second category, and it's going to get benefits of about 11% a month. And for those of you who could do more than 1,000 and less than 2.5, let's say you could do $1,706, just as a figure. That would fall into the third category. So there's no packages, you just deposit, and then you nominate the bot to start trading. And depending on which category you're in, that enjoys a particular threshold of results. Now, two good things. You can change from 10% to 11 in two ways. You could trade the account up, so it goes, once it goes over $250, it moves into the higher category and gets 11%. Or you could do it faster than that. You could top it up. And I know some people, maybe certain times of the month, things are tight, they don't have any money, but maybe the wages come at the end of the month. They're able to maybe put an extra 100 in or 200 in to top up, and that can get you over a higher level. I know one customer was sitting at 900 for over a week, and all they had to do was add 100 to jump into the higher one. They were in this one, and just by adding 100, it threw them into the higher category faster. So you can do that as well. And here's the other good news. You can withdraw your profit every day. Okay, you can withdraw your profit every day, and that's good. You can actually withdraw it onto a card if you've got a Visa card like this, and you don't have to put it on the card. You can put it to any wallet of your choice, any USDT. I think they do the TRC20 and the BEP20 versions. They also do USDC. I think that's important in Europe to have the USDC one. They don't do the Ethereum one, just for those of you that understand crypto. I'm assuming, I didn't ask, that's to do with the fees. I think the fee structure in the Ethereum network is quite nasty at times, and for that reason, they use the Tron version, the TRC20, and the BEP, the Binance version. So you would have choices to withdraw. Of course, you can withdraw to the card and spend your cryptocurrency anywhere where Visa and MasterCard is accepted. Now, in terms of the company, it's important to note for all of us, because you want a strong company, don't you? You want a company that's going to be around. So the company has to be making money as well. So how do they make their money was my question. And it's very simple, actually. For those customers that are benefiting at a 10% rate, the company gets that spread. They get that difference between 10 and approximately 17.5. So the company's always making 7% on those accounts. For those customers that enjoy 11%, the company's getting 6. For those that enjoy 12, company makes 5% on all of those accounts. For the 13s, they get 4. And I mean, Bryan Benson asked me, he said, where do you think the majority of our customers will lie? Where do you think the bulk of our customer base will be? Do you think there'll be more than $5,000 all the customers, or less? And I said, probably less. I said, probably the average customer will deposit between $100 and say 4,999. That's what I thought. And he agreed. He felt that's where the bulk of the customers would be. And why that's important is because that's where they make their most money. That's where Aurum makes its most money. Because the higher customers, the wealthy guys that have the money, they're getting very close to the profits. They're getting 15 and 16%. But he said those customers are what he called accredited investors. Those guys are a different caliber. They understand risk management. They understand investment. They take very little management. Whereas the other customer base is always a drag on support. There's all, and he says that's why there's a disparity in what the bigger customers earn and what the others earn. But it's still very good. 10% a month it's crazy good. Crazy good. Now, I'm going to show you an account. This data has not come from the company. This is a customer who shared this and willing to share this with the community. This customer deposited on the 17th of April, $500 this year. Okay, on the 17th of April, $500, but it says 882. That's because the account made $382. So how long did it take for this account to make $382? To find the answer, you go to the bottom right-hand side of your screen right now, and you'll see it 2136, that's 936, on the 17th of September. So when the account was funded on the 17th of April, and we're looking at the 17th of September, we're talking about 5 full trading months. This account has made $382. Now, you have to ask yourself, is that good or is that bad? I'm going to tell you it's sensational. I'm going to tell you it's 76% in 5 months. And how do you work that out? It's quite easy. You take the profit, which was $382. You set that over 500, which was the deposit. You divide that into this number, you multiply it by 100, you get the percentage. This account has achieved 76.4% in 5 short months. And why it's good is if you bought a house in your locality, let's say it was $100,000 as an example, on the 17th of April this year, and you were able to sell that house on the 17th of September, and you sold the house for $176,400, would that be good business? You bought a house for 100 on the 17th of April, you sold it for 176,000 on the 17th of September in 5 months. Is that good business? It's spectacular. It's spectacular. So even the little accounts can enjoy great rewards. Now I'm going to show you a larger account because some customers would like to see, or maybe you know customers that would like to see a larger account. This account was funded on the 10th of April, and it was funded with $10,000. And if we look at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, at 10:23, I don't know, is that the morning or the evening time, but at 10:23 on the 16th of May, now this account started on the 10th of April, May, it's 5 weeks. This account made $2,300 in 5 weeks. That's 23%. 23% in 5 weeks. After 10 weeks, the same account was sitting at 15,500. So the $10,000 is now 15,500. Do you know how much that is a week? In 10 weeks, that's $550 a week. $550 a week, supplementary income. You don't have to know how to trade. You don't have to look at your computer and screen. This is whether you sleep, whether you eat, whether you go on holidays, the product makes you money. Who's doing the work? The AI. The AI is taking over the job of the human doing this work. This is what the banks have been using for years, guys. Now, after 12 weeks, 2 weeks later, the account jumped up another $1,800 or $1,900. 17,000. 10,000 became 17,471. That's 74% in 3 months. And then after 4 months, 16 weeks, this account doubled. The $10,000 jumped up to $20,000. Well, that was on the 10th of August this year. Do you want to see what it is last week? We got an update last week. This same account ending, look at the account number. It ends in 1972 on the 10th of April. You remember that? 192 on the 10th of April. Let's have a look at last week. The 26th of October, the same account ending in 1972 on the 10th of April, sitting at $31,000. Incredible. The other account that we looked at, do you remember the one that was 500 went to 882? It made the 382. Look at it. That was started on the 17th of April, and it's now at over $1,000. It's doubled as well. So even the little accounts are doing very good. So that's just one of the products. There are, I don't know, 7, 8, or 9 of these different products. They have one bot called the EXI bot on the platform, and then they've got 6 more bots that are working over on Telegram. And Telegram is a decentralized exchange. The ones over in Telegram are called the Pro bot and the Zeus bot. The Zeus bot has 5 trading pairs, and that's for those customers that have a little bit of Bitcoin or a little bit of Ethereum. And what happens if you've got Bitcoin, Ethereum? It's just going up and down and up and down. It's not increasing, is it? It's going up and down in value. But if you had 0.1 Bitcoin this month, next month it's still 0.1 Bitcoin. It just changes the value, but you don't get more Bitcoin. Over here, you have the potential to trade it and increase that 0.1 Bitcoin or 0.001 Bitcoin. The minimum deposit in Bitcoin, I think, is about $100 worth. I think that's 0.00009. So you go over to Telegram, you open up the app over there, you log in with the same details of your main site. This is where you order the card, but we're not going to talk about the card just yet. I want to talk about the Zeus bot. Now, this customer deposited 0.7 Bitcoin on the 31st of May, okay? 0.7 Bitcoin on the 31st of May. So we're looking at June, July, August, September, and October. 5 months. Well, the account went from 0.7 to 0.71, 0.74, 0.79, 0.81. That's what you see on the screen. But it didn't rest there because it's trading every day. It went up to 0.82, 0.84, 88, 0.91. And I know many of you have been tracing and following this account. And maybe you saw this for the first time when it was 0.91. But then it went to 0.93, 0.96, 0.99. And just at the end of last week, it's gone to 1 full Bitcoin. So the 0.7 Bitcoin is now 1 Bitcoin. So the customer has made 0.3, a third of a Bitcoin approximately. Let's just check what that's worth. Please tell me how much is 0.3 Bitcoin in US dollars, please. $33,738. 0.3 Bitcoin is now $33,000. So this account has made the customer $33,000 without knowing how to trade, without watching a screen and working out the markets, without any emotion, without introducing a single customer, without attending a single Zoom. This is your money working for you instead of you working for your money. Isn't that incredible? Now, that's a customer. You can start with a lot less. You can start with a lot more. Here's a customer started with a Bitcoin. Here's another customer started with 2.75 Bitcoin. And some of you heard this story. This was a bank manager for 17 years in the Trustee Savings Bank. After speaking to Bryan Benson, this customer deposited 2.75 Bitcoin. That was like $300,000. One customer. But it's not 2.75 Bitcoin anymore, guys. It went up to 2.81. But it's not 2.81 Bitcoin anymore, guys. It went up to 2.9. And this customer wants to bring 2.75 Bitcoin up to 5 Bitcoins with this trading bot. Incredible. Incredible. The last product I want to talk about tonight is the card. I've lightly spoken about it, and let me explain a little bit better. This card requires no KYC. We don't need your name, your address, your telephone number. We don't need your bank statements. We don't need your utility bills. We don't need a passport. We don't need a driver's license. And you can get yourself one of these cards. You can put up to $100,000 a month of cryptocurrency. If you need more than that, you got to do the KYC. But up to 100,000, no KYC. It works with Apple and Google Play, and so you don't actually need the physical card, but you can get the physical card, but you can have it working on your phone. The loading fees to put the money on is 2.2%. Now that means you don't have to run and find an exchange and an exchanger. This is no KYC cryptocurrency card. So if you make profit in the bot and you want to spend it, how do you spend it? You stop the bot, you click on the card, you click top up. When you press top up, it asks how much you'd like to put on. Well, let's say you had $4,000 profit on the bot. You just go 4,000, submit. And within 10 to 30 minutes, you've got that $4,000 on this card, and you can go spend that in anywhere where Visa and MasterCard are accepted. Now, if you are interested in our affiliate program, let's say you made $100 in our affiliate program, you can put that money on the card or your trading money in USDT onto this card. And now you've got a cryptocurrency card that you can spend crypto anywhere in the world where Visa and MasterCard are accepted. You can also withdraw from the ATM machine. This is quite a sensational product. They love it that much. They're now speaking to merchants to try and engage them for a cashback loyalty program. Some shops will give us 1%, 2%, or 3% for using the card. Other shops will give us up to 10% depending on their margin. And they're also going to build in a loyalty reward system. Maybe if you had the black card, you can use the VIP lounge in the airport, those type of things. That's what they're working on. That's not available today, but that's what they're working on. Now, that sounds interesting. If you attend our training on a Sunday evening, late on a Sunday evening, you'll be able to get more details on the benefits of that card. We also have MasterCard on board, not just Visa. The cards are going to start at $33 with no monthly fees. So everybody could afford one. $66, $99, but the one I'm going to talk about is the $249 one. And this is great because it's got the best commissions, it's got the least loading fees, lowest transaction fees, highest limits. I think, you know, if you're a type of person that likes the best card, the best location, the best house, you definitely also want the best card. And that's what I'm going to focus on. But we'll talk more about that at the training. Tonight's to give you an overview of the system, not to give you all the details, just to give you an overview, a little bit about the company, a little bit about the products and how it all works. And from there, then you learn more and more and more. But imagine you put this card into the hands of some of your friends and neighbors and work colleagues, and let's say your best friend goes and has coffee tomorrow morning, and they use this card, and you got paid. Would that be good? And then after they had the coffee, they went out for a run, and they stopped by the ATM machine and withdrew $200 of cash, and you got paid again. And then they went and got the car, and they drove to the gas station, the petrol station. They put some fuel in the car, and you got paid. And then they went into the shop and bought some milk and some groceries for the house, and you got paid again. And they came home that evening and bought some clothes online and booked a holiday, and you got paid. Would that sound interesting? You can actually build a business with this without the trading. It's exceptional. And we talk more about that on our training. I'm just going to show you the card working. You can see on the card on the screen, there's no name on it. There's a friend of ours called John. This was the second transaction ever done in the United Kingdom with one of these cards. And this was done back in June. These cards were released back in June. So we have June, July, August, September. We've 5 months now testing them. This is the test phase before launch, working with the better banks and the different brands and MasterCard. And this is where we iron out all the problems in this pre-launch. But John was sent to the shop to get some milk and have a look at the.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
Like purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Mina.
There you go. Imagine spending cryptocurrency anywhere in the fiat business. Like most businesses are not crypto businesses, but we can use this card to buy our goods and services all around the world. It also works at the ATM machine if you've got the physical card. Have a look at this, guys. Okay, in goes the Aurum card. Balance. Okay, so there's 5,720 on the thing. Let's do a transaction. Let's take out cash in the machine. Let's do that other. Maximum 800. Correct. So the fee is $3.99. Accept and proceed. That's half of 1%. Half of a percent. 1% would be $8. 800. $3.99. Half of 1%. Incredible. And we've tested the card right throughout Europe, into Asia, North America, South America, anywhere where Visa and MasterCard accepted the card. The card is fabulous. And that's our presentation over tonight, ladies and gentlemen. What we've done tonight is we've taken a look at the Aurum Foundation platform. We started off examining the CEO and Mr. Bryan Benson from Binance, and we did a Google search on him. We found out that they were writing favorably about the company on Forbes magazine. We then noticed that they were hooked up with the issuing bank of Visa, which is important. After that, we learned that he spoke at the largest blockchain summit in the world. So we've a company that's not afraid to be out there, meeting the public, getting exposed out there. And then we started looking at some of the products. We didn't look at them all. We looked at that first bot that did 76% in 5 months, which was very good. We looked at the same one, but with a bigger deposit, 10,000 became 20,000. We looked at that ZooSpot where the Bitcoin was growing. We looked at the card operating in the shops and the ATM machines. So you can withdraw your profits at any time from the bot and just put it onto the card. If you don't have a card, you can actually withdraw to a wallet of your choice. And with that said, that's really what we've covered tonight. So I want to thank you all for attending. If it's something of interest there, please do your homework, do your due diligence. If you like what you see, get back to the person that shared the list link with you. Get your very valid questions answered. And of course, if you like what you see, come on board and try it out, test it out with a little and see how it goes for you. For those of you who like to sit on for a couple of moments, we do also have what we call an affiliate program. Not necessity to do it all. There's no obligation to be involved with that. It's free, so it doesn't cost you anything if you want to take a look at it. When you have an account with this bank, they offer you a referral link if you happen to refer customers. Now, Bryan Benson isn't overly familiar with this kind of platform, the way it's been done here. He was familiar with the Binance model. And in Binance, if you got a customer for Binance, I think they added something like $5 to your account, something like that. So you told more people about Binance, you started getting these affiliate bonuses. So Aurum have something similar to that, but much better, I believe. And it's not multi-level marketing. You don't get paid 3 levels, 7 levels, 10 levels, none of that nonsense. This is a volume-based affiliate program. The more volume you do and the rank you get determines what you earn. And I'm kind of getting to like this type of a structure. So let's take a quick look. If you want to sit on, we're happy. Let's see, did we lose many people? No, 185. So I don't know what we got up to there. I wasn't looking at the numbers. 188 was our best so far. Let's have a look now at let's have a look at the affiliate program. Well, it's very simple. Everybody starts as Nova. Nova means new. Okay, and you're the new kid on the block. If you bring a customer, you make a referral, the company will give you a handshake. Hey, I call it thank you bonus. Hey, thanks for that customer. There's 3% on the deposit they made. We appreciate you referring our company. So instead of spending money on television and spending money on radio and spending money on magazines and spending money with Facebook and spending money with Google, because Google now you can put in these words and you can bid for these words, and when people click on it, you have to pay Google for these clicks, and companies are spending millions of dollars on it. Even cryptocurrency companies like crypto.com. I think crypto.com sponsored the Super Bowl this year or did something, but just their name came up. You couldn't describe what I described in a 30-second commercial, could you? You couldn't describe what I've taught you tonight in a 30-second TV commercial. So what they've decided to do is they've taken those millions of dollars from advertising and said, listen, what we'll do is we'll take 18.5% and give it to our customers, our happy customers who refer us new business. That's all an affiliate program is. It's a thank you bonus. Tesco in the UK and throughout Europe is a big shopping company. They pay affiliate bonuses. Apple have one as well. Go to Apple's website, go to the bottom, click affiliate link. If you refer Apple products, if you like them, Apple will pay your rewards, and Aurum have decided to do the same. So if you want to use your affiliate link and somebody registers, you get 3% of their deposit. How's that? That's it. It's all over. If they make a second deposit later on, well, yes, you get the 3% again. That's fine. And that's as simple as our affiliate program is. If you'd like more than 3%, what we then need to consider is the ranking structure. And the ranking structure is just like what you'd be familiar with in traditional business. You might start off when you were a younger kid working in the shop and the boss promoted you to supervisor. And then later on, you were promoted from supervisor, maybe 2 years later to manager of the shop. And then maybe after 3 years, you became an area manager of 4 or 5 shops. And then maybe you became a director. So you have a career, you have a career structure. This is the same. This is not levels, guys. This is just career structures. So if you do 7,500 of total business in that first bot that we looked at tonight, this could be one customer. Well, let's say it was 10 customers or 4, 9 or 18, doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be your customers. It could be your customers and theirs and theirs and theirs. Total team trading volume of just $7,500. You should do that in your first 2 or 3 days. You get a promotion. Congratulations. You've reached the new rank. And now you're getting 5% instead of 3%. Does that make sense? And guess what? Here's the good news. You get all your money back. Imagine being out of risk. In this model, if you started with $100 and you reach the first rank, they say, hey, there's your money back. Yeah, $100 back. You can put that $100 on the card and go shopping. You can add it to the bot if you want to trade it. You could withdraw to any wallet of your choice. Imagine getting out of risk in a very short move. So that's what everybody should aim for. Aim for that Voyager. You should do it in your first 3 days. It's not difficult to do. And you can do it very part-time. Now, in addition to that, you also get another 5%, but this 5% comes every day. This 5% over here on the left only becomes when somebody makes a deposit, but over on the right, this is on the profit. And you get paid like a matching bonus every day on your customers' profits. So let's say you put in $100 to that first bot, and one of your customers put on some Bitcoin. Now, you didn't put in Bitcoin, they did. As that customer gets paid in Bitcoin every day, you get 5% paid in Bitcoin. So now you only put in dollars, but now you're building a portfolio of Bitcoin. Maybe a different customer put in some Ethereum to trade. Well, now you get paid in Ethereum. So over here, every day, as your customers are trading, you get a 5% daily matching bonus in the currency they're trading off. So if it's Pepe or Doge or Litecoin or whatever they're trading, you get paid in that. And you don't even have to be in that yourself to get that. Now, if you want more than 5%, you've got to get up the ranks, right? No different than work. Becoming from supervisor to manager, you become Vanguard when $25,000 of total team trading is in that first EXI bot. Now what happens is you get 7% on your personal customers' deposits. You get a $500 cash bonus, and now your daily matching bonus is increased from 5 to 7.5% every day on the profits of all your customers, infinity levels deep. Now, if you understand what I've just said in those first 3 ranks, you've essentially understand our whole program. We go into this in more depth in our training. Tonight, as I said, it's just an overview to give you a feeling for it. But if you want to get a $1,000 bonus, you just need more volume. If you want to do a 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000, it's more volume. Now, there is a little bit of rank structure as well. It's volume and structure. But again, it's not important to describe that to you on this call, on this occasion. It might be your first time listening, but we'll cover that in more details on our trainings to give you an in-depth, if you're interested in this kind of thing. It's optional. You don't have to do this at all. So we also have 15 ranks. That was 7 that we looked at. There's customers getting $20,000 bonuses, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 bonuses. And if you want to be one of the, do you remember what Bryan Benson said when I played that video earlier? I want to create 1,000 millionaires. All you have to do is work your way to Dominion and you're a millionaire. Why? Because you get a $500,000 bonus. You would have already received the 150 and the 100 and the 50 and the 20. That's $820,000 plus that first page, plus these direct profit bonuses, plus these profit on profits, plus the shareholder bonus. You're a millionaire. Unequivocally, you're a millionaire if you reach Dominion. We have one gentleman on this call that reached the level of Magnet after 4 months. Magnet after 4 months. After 6 months, and just this week, he went Mythos. 6 months, he's here. That gentleman has 2 more ranks to go, Legend and Dominion, before he's a millionaire. He's only in it 6 months, and we don't launch to January. So if you want a career change, if you want something to help pay off a mortgage faster than what you're expecting 20, 30 years to pay, this is certainly a sensational, what I would call affiliate program, and you can get more details at our training. You don't have to understand it to say yes. It's a bit like your car. Your car takes you from A to B. You don't necessarily know how it works inside that engine. Same here. This is a car, a vehicle, that'll get you from where you are today financially to where you'd like to be. And of course, you don't have to understand it because the programs, the software understands it itself. You just do the work, bring the business, you'll rank up. It's as simple as that. So with that said, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much again for joining us. Some people do ask, what about withdrawals? How do they work? My answer is very well. Yeah, they work very well. You get withdrawals every day if you want them every day, if there's money there to be withdrawn. You can see here that this customer on the 19th of April took out 0.1 Bitcoin. That's $10,000 or $11,000. You can see that the same customer just, 8 days later, took out $500. Then a month after that, because that was the 27th of April, can you see that? I always advise people to maybe, if you have a guest, bring them on a computer. Let them watch it on a computer, because to see these numbers rather than a little phone. On the phone, you get more distractions. You get messages coming in, social media. Somebody calls you, you walk away. You're not focused on your business. If you get them sitting down at a computer, you're going to get better results. There's a little tip for you. Now, on the 27th of April, they took out 500, but a full month later, the 27th of May, they took out 5,000. And then 2 days after that, the 29th of May, they took out 4,500. And then 18 days later, from the 29th of May to the 17th of June, is 18 days, they took out $10,000. And every transaction is on the blockchain. You can take the hash ID, you can put it in Block Explorer, you can trace it back. We've already done that, and that's it. So again, thanks for joining us tonight. We've taken 55 minutes of your day. We've watched 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. Bryan Benson. We watched one on the card. We watched the ATM machine. We've watched at least 4 videos. We've done the affiliate program. We did all of that. So we've all done that inside an hour for what could potentially be life-changing information, only if you put it to work. You know, being in the right place at the right time. You've heard that? Oh, it's all right. You're in the right place at the right time. Well, guys, that counts for nothing. Being in the right place at the right time accounts for nothing. Because you were all here 10 years ago when Bitcoin was just getting off the ground. You were all here 10 years ago when Facebook got off the ground. How much did you make out of Facebook? How much did you make out of Bitcoin? You were there at the right place at the right time. The differentiator is what do you do with the information you have when you get the information and you are in the right place at the right time? It's what you do with the information. It's the action you take that is the differentiator. And those of you that seek to understand this more fully, that you're willing to learn, burning desire to succeed, you're willing to go to work, this could be life-changing. It could change results in your family for generations to come. So I hope you do your due diligence. I hope you make the right decision, whatever's right for you. Either way, do me a big favor. Call the person that sent you the link to listen to this. And even if it's not for you, just thank them anyway. Just say, yeah, it sounded good, but not for me. Or if it is for you, say, hey, yeah, it sounded good. Send me your link. Now, if you're not going to ring them, I would hope that the person that sent you this link will ring you in the next 5 minutes. And I want you to answer that call. And I want the person that invited you to ask you this question. Have you decided how much you'd like to put in that EXI bot? That's it. Have you decided which bot you'd like to try? That's the question. That's the only question you need to ask. So with that said, I wish you every success. We see you again, same time, same link tomorrow night. We do it Monday to Thursday, and then we do a training on a Sunday evening. Thank you, everyone. Take care, and good night.
Recording stopped.